All right, next up on the main stage is Washington with head coach Mike Hopkins and student athletes Jalen Noel and the returning Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12, Matisse Thybulle. Good job, Percy.
How are you, Percy? Hey, Coach. Nice to see you. Coach Carlissimo, how are you, buddy?
Hey,
nice to see you.
Here's to your thoughts on being picked third in the preseason conference vote. Was that high, low, or just about where you thought you guys might land?
You know what, I don't know. You know, we obviously have a lot of returners, but still trying to build, you know, what we're doing, raising the standard. But, you know, we're just focused on how we get better every day. I know it's the corny coaching cliche, but the reality of it is just how do we get better. Last year we were teaching them how to win. This year we're teaching them how to handle expectations, so it'll be a new learning curve. But kids have worked really hard and playing well together, and I'm happy for their success, but predictions don't mean anything. We've got to go out there and prove it, and we've got a pretty tough non-conference schedule. So we're excited about that.
How different is it for you to be here a year later? Last year, obviously you came, they just came off of 9 wins. You guys were picked 10th, and now just 365 days later, here you are.
I think for us, it's last year I think I got one question, and it took about 15 seconds. I was like, hi, I'm Mike Hopkins. Who are you? Mike Hopkins. You know, it's been a whirlwind. What you realize, it goes by fast, and that's what we try to tell these kids. And every day means something. You got to get better. You got to focus. Got a great league, but you know, I'm happy for them. You know, they went out there, they played, they won some games, but it's not where we want to be. We want to keep raising that standard, and but it's nice to know that we're moving forward, going in a positive direction.
In your heart of hearts, did you have a timeline as to kind of where you wanted to sort of?
I think, you know, there's so many different factors. How quick are they going to learn a new system? How are they going to adapt? How are they going to play together? How are they going to respond? I thought that was faster than expected. We tried to focus on how we could get better every day. And from the earlier in the year, we had a couple bumps and bruises and weren't playing so well. And then we started playing well. So with expectations, it was just, and what we're trying to do is stay consistent with the message last year is we just got to get better. And now how do we manage that? You know, we got to work harder. We got to work better together. We were last in the league in assists. We were last in the league in rebounding. Those are 2 areas that we've got to improve if we want to be an elite basketball team. But these guys, you know, we have a good freshman class. We've got 8 returning players. That's a luxury in today's day and age. But I just think keeping them humble, hungry, and wise, and focused on getting better every day rather than getting focused on what we're rated, who's preseason this, who's preseason that. Because at the end of the day, when people preseasoned this last year, it was like 10th or 11th. And if we focused and we played a very tough schedule, we just got to focus on that. And I think we can have a really good year.
Hey, and just like the last thing for me, and it seems kind of odd, but can experience win in college basketball?
I think experience wins early. And then that's where freshmen and younger players are infused, and where you know, are you either going to grow? How can you get better in certain areas? But I worked for a great coach in Jim Boeheim, and he used to always say, you win with veterans early. And so to have a veteran team coming back, that's a luxury. We're excited about that. They figured out how to win. Now can they be consistent with that? And we'll see. Thank you, Percy.
Speaking of that returning, 96% basically returning score and all that. Have you ever been a part of a staff that has had that much returning production, and what is it like to coach so many?
Well, I think I have. At Syracuse, we had a lot of teams that had that. I think the biggest thing is when you're trying to build a mindset and a culture, it's believing every year that you're going to be in contention to be in the national considerations. That's what we're trying to build. So, you know, how do we raise the standard of our culture and day-to-day operations? How do we operate? How together are we going to be? You know, you're just trying to raise the level in every area of your organization. But like I said last year, without expectations, those kids, you know, learnability, understanding system, believing in what we were doing. I was really, really happy about that, and I know the staff was as well.
Can you tell me a little bit about your preseason out-of-conference schedule. How involved were you, and was there anything in particular you were looking to do with that schedule?
Well, what we wanted to do, we felt like last year we won regular season without conference. I think, what were we, 20-11 going into the Pac-12 conference and doing that? Hey, Pat. And, and we had games. We beat Kansas. We had some really good wins, and we weren't able to be in the conversation. So we felt we had to upgrade our non-conference schedule. That was a critical part of it. And, we're trying to build a program that, has a chance to play for a national championship. And with the new metrics and all the non-conference talk, we wanted to upgrade that. So I feel like we've really done that. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a lot of good road games, great tests, but if we want to be a great team, that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go learn how to beat a good team on the road.
Any of those games that you look at and you kind of go, cool, or wow, or that was...
Well, I can tell you last year when they gave me this schedule, when I took the job over, I'm like, we got to get rid of that game, that game, that game, that game, that game, that game, and that game. And then it was like Belmont at home, the first game of the year. Do they understand what that means? The guy's a legend coach in a program. So, as a coach, I think you're always, one of the greatest coaches, my mentor. It didn't matter who you were playing. There's always that sense if you don't play good, you could lose on any given night. That's how college basketball is, the parity, the league, so many good teams. But to be the best, you got to go out there and you got to play the best, and that's what we're trying to build at the University of Washington.
Mike, obviously, Mark Elfoltz was before your time, but his name came up in the federal investigation. Do you have any sense whether that's where that can go forward as far as internal investigation for your school or anything?
Well, the biggest thing is obviously we're aware of everything that's happened. We've been cooperating with the NCAA, and obviously they'll be dealing with whatever's coming out in terms of the facts of the case. But I haven't been in communication with the administrative staff in terms of that regard.
In terms of recruiting players of that caliber that people look at as a certain, one-and-done type player, what sort of antenna do you have to have for what can come along with that from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, I think there's, I've been in this game for 21 years as an assistant coach, as a player, and, I think there's so many rumors and things that people say if you lose a recruit, oh, they were doing this. I think that's a lot of, there is some truth to it in some situations, I'm sure, but I think a lot of it is also sore losing in recruiting. A lot of times there's relationships that are in place that are a lot deeper. That's how we recruit. You recruit with relationships, and I've got a staff where you've been with people for 20 and 30 years or local kids, and sometimes it's just the right fit. But I'm not a judge or a jury. I've heard a lot of rumors. People would say, oh, they're paying him. Well, have you ever seen it? No. Have you ever? No. So I just think that's been with the game for as long as I've been in the game.
We've gotten past the rumor stage to under oath testimony.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Is that a concern about?
I just think we need to clean up the game. I think in anything that you do in any business, there's always going to be the 80% average. You're always going to have the 10% good and the 10% bad. I just think it's in anything that we do.
Last year, you leaned on Chris a lot, handling the ball and running the team. And we saw Jalen step up a little bit more and do more of that. Is that something we can expect to see Jalen do more of that this year?
Yeah, we've got Jalen obviously is an incredible player for us. We're trying to expand his game. I think he can help us at that position to back up David. We also got a really good young point guard, Elijah Hardy, who, we talked about earlier, you win with veterans, and you got to bring up the younger guys, but we've got some young guys I think that can help us down the road. We'll see. We'll see how fast they grow.
Last year you had Noah and Sam and Hamir.
Yeah.
You've added some, I walked in and saw those sizes of some of your guys, and all of a sudden you got big.
Yeah.
How are you going to use those guys?
It goes back to, how do you get the best players on the floor? Obviously, the length is important, but they're also young, so there's going to be some growing pains. And, but we did, Brian Penn Johnson's got a 7'7" wingspan, and rim protection is so important to how any team plays defense, but especially the zone. Nate Roberts has been a great addition. Jamal Bay, who's Nevada State Player of the Year, he's really advanced. So, this thing will play out. It usually does, and got a tough schedule early. We'll see who's ready to go.
8 returning guys.
Yeah.
Big guys.
Yeah.
How do you find time for the other 4?
Listen, the bus isn't stopping for anybody, okay? If you got to get extra film at the beginning or after, you're going to get that film. But, you know, you just got to go out there, and we've got a veteran team, and we can't slow them down. We've got to keep developing them, keep pushing them. Young guys, tag along. You want to show that you're ready to play. You know, you got to show it a little bit earlier. But I think they've done a really good job of adapting. In any environment that you create, they'll adapt to it. It's just a matter if it's earlier or if it's middle or if it's late. But they're all really talented.
You're almost smiling and laughing a little
Yeah.
bit about those young
Yeah.
guys because seeing what they have to go through,
Yeah.
you know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, last year watching our freshmen, even Jalen, these guys that go through the growing pains, some days you're going, can he play? Is he any good? And they just keep fighting. They keep getting better. I got a great staff. They're developing them, and, you know, they can help us in a lot of different ways.
Coach, your team has a lot of strengths. You mentioned one of the weaknesses last year in assists.
Yep.
Without like a true point guard, I know you talk about Hardy's
Yeah.
and young players.
Sure.
How do you work on passing like as a group?
We like to use a term called, we use it one more rep, one more pass, good to great, you know, just trying to find the great one, and that's you got to train it, you know. We've got guys who can really score the basketball and that aren't traditional positionally. But part of our culture is that sharing and caring piece, and you got to emphasize it. We do a lot of drills where there's always an obvious open man. Yeah. Now, can you find them? Sometimes, you know, how quick does it translate? That goes back to the learnability. Does it just happen? But you just,
sure you were talking about it all last year.
Right? All last year. That's exactly right. And then where do we improve? Well, we were last in assists. We got to find, you know. We got to find guys. Obviously, I mean, you played, you know. Uncontested shots versus contested shots, what's the percentage differences?
Yeah. And it helps with chemistry, too.
Chemistry.
If you're making that one extra pass and guys trust each other a little
That's
bit
exactly
more.
right. And that's what we're trying to
Give
build.
it up, you'll get it back.
That's right.
One other question. When you play a zone, it's difficult to rebound
Yeah.
out of a zone.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if you have length. Would you
Yeah.
agree with that? Why is it so difficult to rebound out of a
It
zone?
always has. It was interesting. We had played the year we won the national championship. We played Texas and Kansas, Final Four, and then Kansas. They were the two best, number 1 and 2 rebounding teams in the country at the time. And I'm almost positive, you have to look back at the stats, but I think we rebounded. I think we out-rebounded. That's how he had to win. It was transition defense versus Kansas and rebounding. And it's a mindset, and it's another thing. You know, we were, you know, first it was like installing the zone. Okay, how do they adapt to it? You know, do they get it? Do they understand it? And that's just the basic. And then it goes back to now, can they make adjustments out of it? And that's the thing that Coach Boeheim, what was great is he could change on a dime, and it was simple, and we could take something away. And then it goes back to, can they do that? And then it goes back to now taking out personnel. And then it goes back to, you know, can you rebound out of it? I think the thing with us is trying to figure these guys out, trying to give them to have something that they can rely on. And then our personnel. A lot of times we had Noah Dickerson at the 5, who was 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". Is he watching? 6'9", 6'9 and 3/4, with a 9'2" wingspan. You know, Jalen played in the back of the zone, 6'3", and so and they did a heck of a job. But when you become 7 feet and then 6'9" on the wing and 6'8" here and 6'5", then it becomes a little bit different. But it's a mindset, most importantly.
What did you do to Noah Dickerson? Because he's about half of what he used to be.
You know, I got a great staff. We got a great strength coach. Cam Dollar works with him. Will Conroy, Dave Rice. I mean, these guys work with him daily to get them prepared. And he's a guy that, you know, he's not here today, probably should be. All Pac-12, one of the best low-post scoring big men, I think, in the country. When he's on, and he gives you a weapon that nobody else in our league or in the country has it. They don't have it. And when you got that weapon, you got to use it. Makes you sleep better at night.
Have you noticed any difference in his game at the lighter weight?
I just think, you know, he's got more energy. He's playing at a higher pace. You know, his thing was you see this pace and dominance, and then you kind of slow off. How do you have that? How can you step on the pedal for longer periods of time? And you know, when he's on, boy, he's a different guy. And he creates a double team, which helps everybody else. And when you single team him, he's going to score or get you in foul trouble. That was a huge luxury. One of the key reasons why we had the success that we had last year.
Not only physically, but does that weight loss and playing that does that impact him mentally at all?
I think so. Not only mentally, but the biggest thing is the guys. They see your best players on your team working the hardest. They see them changing their bodies, seeing that. That's the type of culture that that we're trying to create, where your leaders show the best examples. And the thing that with Noah is not only can he score, he helps others around him get better. Against Kansas, we went to him 29 times. 29 times. And he was assisting, passing out, making plays. And, when you're getting double teamed, other guys are playing 4 against 3. And when he's unselfish and he can make others better, we're just a different team.
Coach, Matisse talked a little bit about how your zone defense really helped him grow as a defender, and obviously the first Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year for a Washington player. Is there anything you did in the offseason to tweak the defense to really give him even more opportunities on defense?
No, he's just Spider-Man. He's a superhero. Like he's created, it's interesting, back when, being part of the zone for so many years at Syracuse, it was that defense, it was like playing against the Princeton offense. Oh, they put us in the bracket with Princeton. Oh, that's going to be backdoored to death. And the zone has that mental piece. You saw Michigan State versus Syracuse this year in the tournament. It's stifling when it's rolling. And when the coaching staff recommended about putting Matisse up top, we were going against the grain. But he understood it, and his anticipation skills, it's uncanny. It's become in the minds of your opponents, and that's when your defense is really good. He's just a disruptive guy, and he makes some plays that you kind of go, you're on the coaching staff, and you go around and you look at each other like, did you just see that? Is that real? And but it was their belief in it. If they don't believe in it, oh, this is BS. So we can. That's the kid. The kid did it. The kid's character, how hard he plays. He's one of the greatest kids in the country. One of the greatest kids in the league.
Time for one more. You mentioned Spider-Man over there.
Yeah.
Any other Marvel characters or superheroes?
Well, how about real life? We call him Deion Sanders up there. It was Deion Sanders, Spider-Man. He's just a. And you know what? How many guys do you know take pride on the defensive end? And they become, he's equivalent to like what Mutombo was as a shot blocker, and he's out front all over, so block shots, steals. And I'm telling you, what that does too, it's like the leader in that area just builds the confidence of everybody on that team. It gets the energy going in the building. And it's, he does it. He can do it on both ends, but that defensive end, he's different.